Okay, it's a great colour, and I'm afraid I'm going to have to do this a two-part series because I just paused it. I thought I paused it, but I actually turned it off, and I'm not too sure how I'm going to join the two together. So anyway, this is part 2 now of strawberry rhubarb jam in the Botless house. Rightio, it's looking good. I've cooked it right down. It looks very yum. I'll take my jars out in a minute, and that's considered a rolling bowl. Well, what's going on there? Rolling bowl. Rolling boil. That's a tongue twister. And there's a little bit for me to taste. It's got nice colour. I've added some of this. Half a packet. I'm not too sure about the quantity that's in there, but it's a fair amount. And this is my favourite little jug because I can scoop it out of the pot and pour it into here. And it's got a flat top, so I can just rest it in the bottom of the pot like that, or on top of the mixture. It doesn't sink. And pick it up and just use it. So that's about a cup in there, I think. Anyway, that's my favourite jug. So here we go. Okay, second half of making strawberry rhubarb jam. I ended up with 4 half pints, I think, the little jam jars, and 4 pints, although one wasn't quite full. So that wasn't a bad amount. And the dehydrated rhubarb, not too sure about that. Don't think I'll do that again. But who knows? It might work out well. Some of the pieces were still a little bit on the chewy side, so perhaps having it sitting in the jars in the pantry will soften it up. But anyway, I won't be doing that part again. I'll just be mixing fresh rhubarb and fresh strawberries, or as these were frozen in the freezer, so that's fine too. Rightio, I'm going to lower the basket in. Did I mention the dummy jars? These jars are just to fill the gaps so that the other ones don't jiggle about. So I had a few extras, so I left them in the canner, which is always a good idea, and they'll just keep everything nice and sturdy while it boils. So I'm going to lower the basket into the water now, and then I'll show you the end product. Rightio. Later. Talk to you later. Well, I'm just forgetful today. I did warm the lids in the warmer water, and I did make a mess, but always put a cloth underneath your hot jars, otherwise you might find they'll burst. And I used my jar tightener to tighten, and that's a snack for me. I'll be enjoying that, although I don't really like that much sugar, but I'm not throwing it out. And my jar grabber is just laying around waiting for me to use it. Right, I think I've mentioned everything now. I wiped the lids, not the lids, I wiped the rims of the jars after I put the jam in. Make sure they're nice and clean, and then I put the little lids on and the bands. Rightio. And the reason I use the jar tightener is because I'm very heavy-handed and I tend to break jars, because if you tighten them up too much, they'll break. Okay, wish me luck. Okay, got another 5 minutes to go, and that big bubble lopping up in the middle there, that's only because of the way the jars have set themselves, and it's just kind of coming up through those 3 jars. But that's about as much as you want it to boil. You don't really want it to go nuts. And in a moment I'll lift the basket out. Something's gone a bit nuts. I'll lift out the basket, and then I'll remove the jars. I think you turn it off and leave it for 5 minutes, then you lift the basket out and pull out the jars and stick them on a nice thick cloth somewhere where there's no breeze, and leave them sitting for 12 to 24 hours before you fiddle with the rings. Don't try to tighten the rings or do anything with them. Just pop the jars on a cloth, leave them alone, and then you can give them a little bit of a rinse and take the rings off and date them. mark what's on them, because sometimes you can't tell between the jams. They tend to look a bit the same. So just mark your jars, put the date on it, pop them in a nice dark spot in the pantry, and you've got jam for the next year, or 2 in my case. Rightio, bye. Okay, most of them have popped. They were so quick at popping. I think they all popped before I could get the camera and bring it back here. Darn it. Oh well. I'll be taking them out now. Oh, there goes one. I wonder if you heard that over my voice. Anyway, I think they've all popped now. They've all sucked themselves down, which is great. So, I've got my trusty rubber gloves. These are fantastic. My son bought me these. Oh, there goes another one. I'm pretty sure that'd be the last one. So, I'll be taking them out, popping them here on this nice thick padding, and then I'm going to continue to clean up my mess. Got my pot nice and clean. That's why we use a non-stick pot. I prefer it because it's so easy to clean. Rightio, I better get some housework done, get these jars out, and see if I can somehow join this video to the other one. Rightio, part 2 of the bottler canning strawberry jam with rhubarb. And by the way, the rhubarb, you can't taste it's in there, but it has taken away the sickly sweetness that was in the jam. So it's balanced out the flavour really well, and it still tastes like strawberry. So that was a really good idea of mine. Anyway, I'll continue now with my housework. You can come and visit me on my page, She's a Bottler. And I'll just make a mention of the small YouTube homesteaders group that I'm in. If you're a homesteader and you have a YouTube channel, a small YouTube channel, you can come over and join us. And they're a lovely bunch. So, time to go. Rightio. Oh, thumbs up, always. Thumbs up's great. And don't forget to subscribe, because I might do something else possibly more interesting than this video. Rightio. Bye.